Why is everybody talking about self-hosting now, man? Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of coverage on it. This is not something I particularly like to do. There's not much programming involved, not much coding involved, but basically the reason why everybody is talking about self-hosting and alternatives and Discord and blah 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 is because people are losing their privacy, people are having to watch too many ads, people are having to pay for subscriptions that they don't want. And the point is, things have gotten expensive, things have gotten scary, things have gotten spooky. People want to own their things again. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go through some of the self-hosted stuff. This is not gonna be a tutorial, it's just gonna be a news and a breakdown of what's going on right now, why it's going on, and I'm gonna let Fireship talk a little bit about what self-hosting means.
CD or floppy disk inside of it, insert it into your computer, and then it was yours to keep forever. But then one day, the devil got a job as a product manager at a software company and had this clever idea called SaaS, or software as a service. When you buy it, you don't actually own it and just rent it for a monthly fee until the day you die. This caused profits to go parabolic, and nowadays companies are looking to squeeze the lemon even harder, like
So if you're young, like I'm young, right? And so what I did when I wanted a game, I used to go to GameStop and then like buy a game, put it in my DS, whatever it was, and then I would play the game. If my friend wanted to play it, I'd take it out and give it to him. Something that you've noticed if you've had any kind of gaming console is you can't do that anymore. There are no memory cards, there are no CDs, and part of this was to force you to own it, to force you to not own it like in the sense that you have it, the actual thing, in the sense that you can't give it to somebody else, and so you don't actually own it. You're more just renting it or licensing it. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about how I've moved over to the self-hosted world, but from a non-technical standpoint. Once again, no tutorials. And so what like I do basically is there's this site called Alternative 2, and you can scroll through it if you want. There are like browsers and YouTube alternatives and web searching things. And basically there's been like a renaissance, in my opinion, of all of this stuff. For the main reason being the cost of everything. Microsoft is expensive. And most for the reason why it's expensive is not even a reason that we want the prices to go up, right? Is that stuff like Copilot and AI is causing everything to basically get more expensive. Your water is getting more expensive, your electricity is getting more expensive, and the subscription costs of the things that you're using are getting more expensive because the integration of AI, and AI is not cheap. It's not free. And what you don't pay in taxes, you pay in subscription fee, apparently. And so one of the other things that I wanted to mention was stuff like Netflix and Hulu costing $20 here, $15 there, $10 there. And basically people are just getting fed up. And with no, end in sight of, things costing less, people have decided to go into the self-hosting world. And what that means is you take like an old laptop or an old computer and you basically download, I think it was like Linux onto it, and then you end up putting like these different softwares like Docker onto it, and then downloading it through Docker, and then just hosting things there. Something I like about the self-hosted world is that you can just share it with other people, like friends that you have, and connect, like merge your systems together, like in the internet, I guess. And when you do that, you have their libraries and your libraries. And so once again, I'm going to just do a little bit of a breakdown how to get off of Windows and get off of Google, whatever it is, just to make your life free again, to make it a little bit less expensive. And so what most people go to when they go to Linux, I guess, is they go to something called Linux Mint. And what this is, it's a friendly operating system. So basically, it looks like Windows. It looks like Windows. There's no other way to say it. It looks like Windows. And so for like boomers or parents or people new into this world, it's very easy to move over from Windows to Linux Mint. And so that's one of the things that people like to use. And again, once again, it's because these things have just gotten so expensive. One of the alternatives for like Microsoft Word and Excel and PowerPoint and Outlook and oh my God, there's so many, dude. There's so many. Is something called LibreOffice. LibreOffice is also free to use, and what it is just the same thing. It's the same thing, except it's free, and it doesn't have a Copilot inside of it. And so you have more privacy on your data. You get to have it more like in-house, I guess. And yeah, and so this is the free alternative for Microsoft Word and Excel and all that kind of stuff. This is all being recorded, pause for effect, on OBS. OBS is I stream, Mondays through Fridays, 6:30 a.m. or whatever it is. And so what OBS does for me, at least, is I stream via OBS, and most streamers do. But you can also use the recording functionality to record a video like I'm using right now. OBS is also free. It also has like a community in the forums in which if you want extensions like I have captions on my stream, for example. I just use the extension for the captions, and that works. Once again, free. If you remember Fraps was like this old software people used to use, like old YouTubers, and that costed money. That costed money that a lot of people didn't have. Zen is the browser that a lot of people have been moving over to, just outside of Edge and Chromium, with the main reason being because if you've seen Edge recently, like there's Copilot everywhere. It's everywhere. And Gemini has been coming to Google Chrome, and it's just annoying. Like you can't click anywhere without clicking on that stupid box. And then when you click on that box, the screen cuts in half, it moves over, and then you got to boot up Copilot or whatever it is, and it takes time to boot up. And then you close it, and it's annoying because if you delete the button, you can't delete the button. A lot of people have been using that Copilot removal app. I think that is on GitHub or whatever it is, and so that's been a thing people have been using. I use Zen though. Like you're seeing, this is what Zen is. You can move the sidebar to the top. You can do all of that, but I prefer it on the side just because I think it makes more sense for the videos that I've been making. One of the cool things that I've seen, so back to this with Netflix and Hulu and Prime Video, is that, dude, some of this stuff has gotten so robust. And so Ezar is a GitHub like repository that you can basically replace Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, literally everything, everything. And so Sonar, for example, is what they use to track TV shows, Radar for movies, Bazaar for captions and subtitles, LiDAR for music, and then Mylar is for comic books, audiobooks. You have audiobook shelf for audiobooks. You have something to monitor it. You have something to monitor how your downloaders go. You have something to like, yeah, this is an alternative to that. And then you have Flare Solver, which makes it like you can basically use a proxy to bypass like different. There's so much going on. When I tell you, I am not somebody that is super knowledgeable about most of this stuff, but what I'll say is that they've made it really easy. So for example, the way that you download all of this, and you can use, Plex or Jellyfin or whatever it is, the way you use all of this is they have these things called like Docker Composes, and you hit a download on the Docker Compose, and this is what the setup looks like on the back end. And so you have like Sonar and Radar and all this kind of stuff. So you just have to open the port on your computer, which you can look up how to do that. And then essentially you hit like a download button and everything downloads, it goes up. And then some of these things come with like self-healing situations so they can like bring themselves up. That's what restart means. So unless you stop it, it'll bring itself up if it goes down. And one of the cool things, once again, about like Plex or Jellyfin is you can share your server with other people. And if they also have a server going, it combines the library. And so you have double the stuff, as opposed to what you had before. And once again, completely free, completely updated by the community. Like this community, I guess, has been updating this thing, looks like 2 months ago was the last update. And so it's completely free, it's completely community based. And for the nerds that want to program or want to learn how to program, what you can do is you can go through the issues tab, for example, and start repairing things or adding things or whatever it is. It's also really fun. They have their own messaging platforms like whether it be Discord or Matrix or whatever, that you can go mess around with them and stuff like that. In a world of skyrocketing unemployment for programmers, I guess have turned around and just made everything free. Is that if you don't know, like what's been going on in the job market is a lot of programmers have been getting laid off, so they don't have anything to do. So what they've been doing apparently is just making every single thing free. For Spotify, I think Spotify is like $15 a month now. They have this thing called SpoTube, which basically is just the same thing, except it's free and you can download it. It downloads the music, and so the music is yours. And yeah, so what I would recommend in stuff like this, where like don't burn the artist, pay for the album and then download it and then add it to your stuff, whatever it is, and then make sure you can support the artist like more directly. I guess Spotify pays them what, like 2 cents a stream, it's like 0.02 cents or something a stream, and so you can just directly support them. And a lot of that stuff's just coming back, it seems. YouTube, because of its like ads and integrations, is that people have been making front ends for YouTube, like this one right here called FreeTube, in which I guess it just like you can stream the video through its platform. It has the like button. It shows you the likes, has a comment section, but you don't have to go through that ad process. And so that's like the YouTube alternative. And then for people that are, upset about like some of the privacy laws coming in, or the trackers or whatever they're called, like one of the things I have, and that's just for this browser, is something called Ad Nauseum. I like it a lot. It just basically takes all of the ads that you get and then puts it over into a new tab. And so, for example, my chat was asking me about like pickle holders or whatever it was, and so that's why you're seeing some of those ads. But the point is that there are so many different like ad softwares, but I find uBlock to be the best one for privacy. And so this one, what it can do, it can block like different types of ads and trackers and stuff like that, like Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon. Basically, every single place you go on the internet has trackers on you. And so in order for people to reclaim their privacy and their I guess their autonomy and their freedom, and to be honest, their money, like I moved over most of my stuff from like paying for subscription to self-hosted maybe a year ago, and before I was paying maybe like $200 subscription fees, and now I pay $0. And there are some subscriptions that I have, but typically those are directly towards the artist or the person hosting the platform. It's been like a way, to be honest, to make a little bit of money on the side, because like some of my friends like will give me money to use my server and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and so uBlock is like one of the better, like I guess like ad blockers that they've made. And while there's so much targeting coming on, from different governments on surveillance, there are things that these programmers, these unemployed programmers, have been returning back to the people. And so I recommend going self-hosted. I recommend doing a little bit more research for every single one of these things. There's some YouTuber that's made a video specifically on that. I just wanted to, talk about the new self-hosted revolution that seems to be going on right now, with a lot of these different like repositories getting updates a little bit more frequently than I guess than I'm used to personally. Is that I'm used to these things kind of going unregulated, or sorry, not unregulated, but going a little bit unmaintained for maybe a couple months or something like that. But and that's what's going on with this one. But this is what I'm used to, is what I'm saying. But now there's updates coming out every single day and every other day for some of these other things. And so I guess if you have the capacity, switch over. Is one of the better things to do if you're unemployed, I guess. But thanks everybody for coming. I'll see y'all later.